There's only so much content you can consume online before you start to actually think to yourself, fuck you to all these content creators who I'm endlessly consuming their videos and nothing actually in my life is changing. That was me. And I'll take you through the journey. But in this video, I want to explain to you how you can actually take action, how you can actually do the things that these content creators, these YouTubers, these successful people online, how you can actually emulate what they have done. We're going to start off with a quote here on the screen. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Who said this? Nikola Tesla. Probably the smartest autistic kid that was ever born. He said this. Nikola Tesla. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Why am I telling you this? Why am I telling you, a guy in your 20s who wants to be successful, who doesn't want to stay stuck, who feels like, to be honest, you feel an impending sense of doom. Everyone else is seemingly getting on with their lives. You're trying to dedicate to something and people are just talking you down, being negative. But we are entrepreneurs. We are people who want to, ambitious men who want to change the world. And this is how you do it. You have to think differently. And when people say, all the successful people say, you've got to think out of the box, this is what they mean. And this is the information that they have access to. So, let's go into a bit more depth. Are you feeling electric? Have you ever gone through life and you felt electric? Maybe you feel electric right now. Maybe my ambitious, driven energy is zooming into your face through the internet, through the screen, the inspiration. So you go around life and sometimes you're in a really good mood. You're in what's called the flow state. You've probably heard of that before, right? We're in what's called the flow state. You're walking around, you're the man, you've got the confidence. And there's been times where I've been in this state and the small little hairs are standing up on your head, you get goosebumps, and then boom, you touch a bit of metal and you're like, ooh, electric, I'm alive. Usually happens after the gym. But let me explain it to you now very clearly. And if you haven't discovered this information before, then pay attention. Humans exist in the third dimension, the realm of creation. So we'd all, me and you both would agree that humans exist in this reality, whatever you want to call it. We exist in the world. The world is behind us. What you see around you is your reality. So we exist in the third dimension. This is the realm of creation. What do I mean by that? Everything you see is a manifestation, creation, of thought. Someone has to have thought of something in order for it to be created so that you can use in this realm, use in this reality, in this third dimension. So let's take the iPhone. Steve Jobs had a thought, and this is putting it very simply. Steve Jobs had a thought, he had a vision, he had an idea, and that has translated into the creation of an iPhone. An iPhone was just someone's thought. It wasn't here before. It wasn't here in the 1700s, wasn't here in the 1800s, wasn't here in the 1900s. It's in our present reality because someone along the timeline of human history thought that this needs to be created. This is an idea, and the thought has manifested, being created physically in this reality. That is important information. Look around you. Everything you see is a creation of someone's thought. This glass, someone has created it. Someone has thought this into existence because they need a glass to hold water, because humans drink water. So human hearts are also electric. Human hearts are electric. The heart beats on electrical impulses, and our bodily actions and drives are impulses. Let's talk about feed, fight, fuck. Feed, fight, fuck. Those are impulses. Those are natural drive. The natural desire for a man to go out there, charge into villages. Now, I'm not saying this is what you need to do, but I'm saying in years gone by, Vikings charge into villages, slaughter all the men, feed the men's guts to the dogs. They would rape all the women, and I'm not saying that's okay, so don't get, ridiculous. But they'd rape and pillage the village. That masculine drive has always been in us as men. And as ambitious men, we are aware of that. You are aware of that, and that's why we feed, fight, fuck. And I'll get into it in a bit more depth. But first, desires are natural drives combined with perception. So it may be a bit tricky to get your head around it, but trust me, once it flicks in your brain, you're not going to think differently. And I've already given you supreme insight and knowledge that will actually help change your life. But in order to actually use this information in your own life, it's got to be succinct, and it's got to be, a system. It's got to have a proven methodology behind it, and I can help you with that. But desires, what do you desire? You desire a car, an Aston Martin. So you desire an Aston Martin. But an Aston Martin is just a piece of metal. It's just a hunk of metal. How you perceive it is unique to you. So the objective reality is that this mouse is just a piece of plastic. But I could perceive this mouse as if I was playing video games, which I hope none of you guys watching this video still engage in video games. That is childish behavior, and it needs to stop, and it's not going to get you anywhere. The game of real life is much more fun and enjoyable and interesting than a virtual reality, living in the real reality. But I could use this as a gaming mouse and play video games, and the mouse allows me to shoot people, and then I feel happy, I feel excited. So you perceive this mouse with all the buttons on it as a good mouse. We'll touch on that in the later slides, but desires are natural drives combined with perception. So you have a desire to, as I said, reach the top of society, but this is where most guys go wrong, and this is where you'll be going wrong if you still haven't made that flick that I'm speaking about. The spiritual realm, we hear about the spiritual realm a lot. There's a lot of spirituality content out there online. There's a lot of mumbo jumbo as well. And I believe in spirituality as fact. It's not something you have to believe in. It's proven. It's evidential. And I'm going to explain to you now. So humans, the feed, fight, fuck motto that I've just given to you, that comes from the reptilian part of our brain, the 10%, the animalistic part of our brain. We only, as humans, on average, use 10% of our brain. But if you think about the 90% of your brain, where is it? It's still in your head. But that 90%, that intellectual curiosity, that creative spark, that infinite awareness, that infinite buzz and intelligence, that spiritual realm is the realm of thought. The 90% of your brain, your thoughts. This is why sometimes you act and you don't even know why you've acted. Because you're not accessing the 90% of your brain where your thoughts are, your subconscious is, okay? So, how can this translate to help you? Let's take identity creation. We hear a lot online about how you need to create your character, create your hypermasculine character, and this is how you do it. My life shifted here at this point. Using your desire of where you want to get to, where you want to achieve, using that 90% of your brain, think of where you want to get to. If you are, let's assume that you are in complete control of your reality and you want your reality to change, think of what reality you would like to construct in your mind. Think about that. Maybe you're on a beach in Thailand. Maybe you're working from a laptop. You got a beautiful girl here, beautiful girl there. You're enjoying life. Life is good. The sun's beaming down on you. You breathe in. You got that fresh air from the sea breeze. That thought, that constructed reality in the 90% of your brain will manifest, can manifest. But you need to create the person who exists in that reality, if that makes sense. So in 2022, here I am, depressed, fat face, trying to, I was really low. I had no idea of who I wanted to be, what I wanted to achieve, aimless, depressed. Like, life wasn't treating me very well as I thought. It comes to 2024, I start picking up some of the self-improvement habits which target the 10% of your brain, the animalistic reptilian part of your brain, which is why sometimes when you are doing reading, journaling, meditating, and a certain gym workout and bulking, you feel just off. You feel your identity has, you kind of lost your identity. Like, I'm doing all these things, I'm doing these habits, I feel like a robot. Who am I? That's the question that you'll all be asking yourself. And that's the question I was asking in the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025, which is that dark picture. Who am I? What am I? What am I achieving? Go to now, 2026, in this present day. I look a lot more handsome. I've worked on myself. I look a lot more mature, serious, masculine, ready to conquer the world and give and help the world. Help you guys. That's who I am now. And I'm sharing everything I learned on this journey. And as you can see, there's an AI picture of me, 2030. That's the person I am becoming. How did I do all this? Because you do the self-improvement habits, you feel kind of empty. Like, what is going on here? My life isn't really improving. It all shifted when I read Parallel Universes of Self. Parallel Universes of Self. This book is vital to read, changed my life. Here is how this book changed my life. December 2024. I was depressed. I was stuck in a dead-end job in hospitality. I was mega stressed. I was gambling. I was drinking. I was partying. I was just in self-destruct mode. You will attack yourself. I think it's the warlike man attacks himself in conditions of peace or something. But I was doing all these things. I started to begin self-improving. I was doing the habits that we all see online and that you've done yourself and that hasn't really improved your life drastically. And I picked up reading as a habit, and then I started listening to Parallel Universes of Self. And then by March 2025, I was in Thailand, I was posting content, I was becoming the highest version of myself, but the most significant part is the exposure, the massive energy shift. I've not felt anything like that before in my life. I remember I went on a night out. I wasn't planning on going on this night out, but I went on a night out with old friends. Didn't really want to go. I went out, it was a shit night as expected. I went home early. I woke up and I felt this massive bang on my head here. Like I'd just been boom. That was my reality shifting. 2 hours later, I was on the plane to Thailand. And boy, oh boy, that time in Thailand shifted my reality completely and exposed me to where I'm going. And I know it's possible, and I know it's out there. I'll put Yu's link below to grab the book. If you want to grab it, look, just get the book and read it. I can only translate this information to you. The book itself has all the information. Like, I'm telling you, this book works. This book works, and it's what all these content creators read, and it's the type of thing you need to consume if you really want to actually click your brain into gear. Here's a gallery of me in Thailand. I was in Chinatown in Bangkok. It's where I saw a monk, that picture on the left. He looked me dead in the eyes. He had cloudy eyes. It was a bit weird. But that was Chinatown. There was me. I went to Pattaya and I met this young kid here called KFC Boy. What a fantastic guy. There's a story behind that, but I'll explain it in later videos. And this is me in a condo looking out at the skyline. Yeah, this is where I belong. This is me manifesting my reality and shifting my timeline. So how can you do this? You've listened to me go on. Your mind has been exposed to the ideas, the same ideas that help everyone else. So this is what you do. Take a piece of paper and write the first judgment thought. Okay, what is a judgment thought? Well, a judgment thought, for example, is I don't like XXX. So I don't like my job. I do like cars. Any judgment thought that comes to your mind as you're sitting there, no distractions, fuck the phone, get the phone away. Sit here for 1 hour just with a paper and pen and just wait until you get one of these judgment thoughts. Be aware of what you are thinking. As soon as you get a judgment thought, note it down. I don't like my girlfriend, which is probably something that is going, a thought that is going in your mind right now. I don't like my job. I actually hate my job. I do like cars. You might hate yourself because you're doing so many of these habits, but you're not actually getting anywhere. You've lost your identity. Any negative thought judgment, destroy it. Destroy those demons. Fuck those demons. Destroy them. Cross it out, rip it up, and chuck it in the bin. You'll feel so satisfied after doing that, crossing out those negative judgment thoughts, ripping them up and fucking them off in the bin. With every positive judgment, so everything you deem as positive, so I like cars, ask yourself why. And this is called Socratic reasoning. Always asking yourself why. Why do I like a nice grey Aston Martin? Why do I like that? Because I've seen it in James Bond. Well, why do I like James Bond? Because he's an action hero and he gets the women, and that's the kind of life I want. There you go. That is a true desire. Eventually, you'll start to paint a picture of your true desires. Aston Martin in the top left, namaste. We got this aesthetic picture on the right of in a city, probably in Europe, dressed well, a man in his element. That's also a true desire. You got beautiful blonde on the bottom left. That is a true desire. You want that. You want all these things. And you'll realise that your false desires, maybe that's your current girlfriend, who knows, but it's taking you off your path. It's taking you off the path that you have created. That reality that you wanted to achieve, that reality that you are desiring so much to and trying to work towards, but self-improvement habits and all this content consumption shit online is doing this. Maybe it's your fat girlfriend. It's taking you off the path. You need to go directly, fully focused onto where you want to be. And that's why action beats the mind. Don't get stuck overthinking. Overthinking is the enemy. And as intelligent men, I'm intelligent myself. I like to think so. I got a high IQ, I reckon. Mensa. And intelligent guys like you, we get stuck overthinking. What's the best play on the chessboard? What's the best scenario to do? The best thing to do is actually to do it. Do. And you'll notice energy comes after action. The more you do, the less time you have to overthink. You can always analyze afterwards. You can always think strategically afterwards, but energy comes after action. So I'm not going to leave you in the dark with all that information. I'll give you some practical habits. Meditation is one I swear by. Meditation is, you can literally restructure your mind, restructure your mental models, analyze your own why you think certain things. Meditation is the key. There's a lot of shit, rubbish ones out there. So I've linked the ones I've used personally down below. 10-minute guided meditations. These are the ones that I use to go to Thailand to do all this shit. I've linked it below for you guys. Anything you've been putting off, cleaning up your diet, increasing your testosterone, which by the way, aside from the basics, I recommend vitamin D, 10,000 IUs. I've got the supplement there. Ashwagandha can help, and we'll get into ashwagandha in later videos and how thoughts combined with emotions equal your reality. And zinc and magnesium is good for testosterone as well. But guys, do. And it's always better to replace a bad habit, such as porn, masturbation, and any of that, with a good habit. So every time you want to masturbate, do 20 push-ups and go for a run or something. You'll get healthy. That is the essence of do. Get into the flow state. Now, this is where the real source lies, and the real knowledge that is hidden away, that is made in such a confusing way in the public eye, what all these guys in private use. This is the flow state. Getting into a state of mind where everything is flowing. You know, money is an energy. Why do we call it currency? Because it's a current. Water flows. Money flows to you when you're in that flow state. So if you want to tap into that higher frequency mental model, if you haven't even accessed it yet, if you want to learn how to get into it, destroy any subconscious blocks and enter to the flow state, message me on Instagram for info on how I can help you transform your reality. Message me on Instagram, the link is down below. It's up to you if you want to do it, but I've given you so much information there, so much information, that with that, you can do anything. This is knowledge that is hidden away. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration.